Hi there, this is the We're in It Together instructional video to help you get started on your the project that we're all doing together. So I'm going to give you a few tips to help you get started getting along, and then if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Again, my email is chadekeith@gmail.com, or you can text or give me a call at 719-201-1870. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys all come up with. So this will be great. So to start off with, if you're new to the pencil, normally I teach graphite pencil and charcoal pencil class, but right today we're just using a number 2 pencil. Just for visual sake, I'm using a charcoal pencil so you can see it. So let's get started. First of all, one of the things I do in teaching my classes are a couple different techniques. And we just start doing lines like this. Those are called hatches. And then if we cross them, okay, that's called cross hatching. And then we have, if we just kind of put a pencil to the side there and do shading, that's called shading. And then the more you go over cross hatching is what I normally use to create really dark areas, just to get that really dark. Okay, and you can see as you move out, you can do small hatches depending on what kind of texture you're looking for. Next is scribbles. So I like to just kind of do this technique. For like trees and stuff. And then the darker you get, the more you go over it. Okay, so that's one technique. So those are a few techniques to get you started out in doing this. Now when we're looking at, I had you draw out a 4x4 inch square that you're going to be working on, and then I've sent you an image through the Facebook messaging that you're going to use. I sent you two. One is a little simpler, one is a little bit more complicated. You can maybe start out with the simpler one and kind of work with your pencil a little bit and see where you're going with these techniques. But how I would start to begin with is I would take my square, if you can print it out. If not, it's just kind of a visual, just kind of visualize, because we're all doing just different pieces of the puzzle, and so we can divide our piece of the puzzle even into more pieces. Okay, so if you want to draw an X in there, and then you can draw very lightly kind of a visual X in your box here, and that'll kind of help you get shapes. So if I do the start with this right box here, I can just kind of start to get an outline of what's going on there. So there's an outline for that box, and then we have one piece of white, something that goes there. And when you're doing this, don't try to figure out what you're doing or make sense of it. Just really focus on the shapes and finding different shapes. You know, you can use triangles, squares, rectangles, rhombuses, circles, but there's other shapes out there that aren't really necessarily shapes, like this shape of this. Like that's not a real. I'm going to do that darker so you can see it. So that's a crazy shape, but that's just kind of what I'm looking at here, is this part here. Okay, so if I were to go down to this, and then kind of draw this shape, shape that looks like that, and then there's a shape that comes, see, it comes down like this, and it comes down like that. There's a shape. Okay, so just really focus on your shapes. There's a few white things coming over here, and the squares are just kind of a guide to help you get everything in proportion and get into place. Okay, and then you can go back and detail it all later. And we're just working on shapes right now, and then you can get more in detail with your shapes the more confident you are with where everything is located. So that's something that I would maybe start out with. And here is all pretty much, so I'm going to use the side of my pencil and kind of fill this in with dark. And then there's some things here. And then there's some stuff that goes in there like this. So we're just kind of getting a rough. And I always start out with my darks first. And that way, like all my grays and values in between. Values just means lights and darks. In between, I can work out later. So I always start with my dark shapes first. And I'm doing lines right now, but then I'll probably go in and do some cross hatching if I decide I want to get this darker. So I'm cross hatching my lines that I've already created just to get it darker. But one thing you want to keep in mind too is the direction of whatever shape you're doing. You want to go in the same direction with your pencil. So that's kind of that shape there that we're working out here. Alright, so then we had this come this way. We had that shape. And that went all the way there. Then we had it coming down here a little bit. Right, and then we have a little thing in there. So just pick out all the little shapes that you can. The more shapes you can pick out, the more detailed your drawing is going to be. And then we can just kind of, here I'm using the scribble technique to try to match this area here. And I lost my son. Alright. And then there's some more details in there. And again, I'm going to do lines, and then I'm going to cross hatch to get that dark in there. Okay? Look, that's a pretty good start, isn't it? So the more details you can pick out of there, the better your drawing is going to be. And, you know, when you're looking at different values, you know, the scale goes from really, really, really dark. You can have really, really, really dark. And then it goes, you know, you can do a gradual, this is the value scale, to eventually white. Okay? So just keep that in mind, and when you're finding your grays, where those might be and compared to your black and your white. Okay? If you guys have any questions, let me know. I can help you out. I can help you out visually, sending you, you know, if you want a little FaceTime, if you want to do just, you know, if you have a quick question that I can just answer with text or something, then I can do that, or I can do a quick video demonstration if I need to for you too. So, you know, I don't want you to struggle with this. I want you to have fun, because I want this to be a fun project, but also there's meaning behind it, and, you know, like I mentioned before, you know, I don't want you to give up, because that's kind of one of the points of this project is, you know, just kind of expressing kind of what we're going through right now, and being able to do that on paper and with a pencil, you know, might help us out a little bit, and give us a little different perspective, and you know, we can keep moving on, and You know, if you decide you don't like the pencil and you know, just kind of do the best you can. Like I said, it's more of a participation that um, that's important rather than the final product. So just keep that in mind too. Um, so I'm here if you need me. Otherwise, thanks again, and I cannot wait to see what you guys come up with. Thanks a lot.